Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk and I'm here today with a 6x6 project. I made a square cracker box out of a 6x6 piece of DSP, and it holds 3 bars of mini green and blacks, and I've done it as a nice little customer thank you. Okay, so stay tuned and I'll show you how I made it. So to make my box, I'm going to use the Myths and Magic. I've not used this paper before. Not 100% my cup of tea, but there are some in it that I do like. I'm not really into mermaids, dragons, and then there's some wizards. Don't mind wizards, I like Harry Potter, and I suppose dragons is a bit Harry Pottery, but they're really not really anything I can do with those. Oh look, nice glimmery paper. This isn't part of the suite, but it was just part of my paper share. But I do like, oh yeah, and fat unicorns, not really my cup of tea either, but I love these two bits. That's beautiful. I particularly love this, gorgeous, and the other sides are quite useful as well. So that's the thing, if you like half of it, then it's worth getting, because you can only use one side at a time. So actually these would be lovely masculine cards, wouldn't they? Quite like that. So I can use the other side. Anyway, just a little quick flick of Miss Magic. We're going to go for Bermuda Bay today. Oh, that rhymed. Okay, and I'm going to use the thank you there from Bubble Over, and I'm going to use the 2 dies from the coordinating framelets. What I like about this set is, like, you sit there and you think, well, it's all about the bottles, isn't it? But I've used them before in a project where I've just used these elements as toppers, so that's what I'm going to be doing to do my sentiment. So quite like that. Move that out of the way for now. So 6x6, so because I did the paper share, that's why I've been doing projects with 6x6 paper, because I just got 6x6 of it, and we make 6x6 paper as well. So if you've got the 12x12, you can do 4 of these. Okay, so on your 6x6, doesn't matter which side you start with because it's a square, so we are going to score at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, and 5, and then flip it 90 degrees, and we are going to score at 7/8, 1 3/8, 1 7/8, 4 1/8, 5 5/8, 5 1/8. Okay, all the measurements as usual will be over my blog, nigezza.co.uk, and then I'm just going to fold and burnish these score lines. Really quick to make a little box like this when you've got a scoreboard and an envelope punch board. So we're going to go that way, and then that one we're going to go the other way. I could have flipped when I was scoring, but I didn't. But you can. There we go. I might do the middle one first, actually. Flip it that way, and then these will go the normal way. It is better to score on the side that you're gonna fold, to be fair. Okay, so that's all our scoring done, and then we're going to bring in our envelope punch board, move that a bit, and we are going to punch at 1 3/8, which makes sure that that little valley fold is right in the middle. Okay, so by putting that at 1 3/8, the 1 is there, so you just want to go to the 3/8 mark. It will be in the middle. So we are going to punch on each of the folds. I don't know why I got this out, because we're not doing any scoring. It's just force of habit, isn't it? Force of habit, or habit. It is thicker, this paper, which is why I like it for boxes. So it is a little bit harder to go through. And I did think about doing an envelope punch board as my swaps for on stage, and then I thought again, because there's no way I would be doing this for oh, nearly did it wrong then. It's 1 3/8, so I went to 2 3/8 then. My hands wouldn't cope with this unless I had an army of helpers. They would not be doing this. My occupational therapist would be going, "What are you playing at, Jez?" I know I had somebody in a class when we were doing it, and she literally just went punch like that, and it worked. I did then worry about my envelope punch board, so I didn't encourage other people to do it that way. There we go. So I'm not throwing these away. There must be something I can do with these. I think I have seen them being used in flowers, so I am going to try, because that is really pretty. I love that mixture of the pink and the Bermuda Bay. So that's going in my little pot. I have a little pot where little offcuts go in. It gets full and I probably end up throwing it away, but you know, I try. Right, so now all we need to do is to stick these together. Now you will notice that this one is smaller than all the other sides, so that's the bit that's going to get stuck down, and there we're going to make ourselves a cracker. So going to get some fast fuse. Can use Tombow, tear and tape. I wouldn't use snail because this is a 3D project and you don't want it to fall apart. So I'm just putting it on these, going right up to the edge. Oh! There we go. Getting a little bit of glitter on me the craft mat. Right, now this is symmetrical, so it should just fold over and meet, and it does. Woohoo! There we go. So I'm taking my bars of chocolate. There they go. So I've got the bars of chocolate. So these are these little mini green and blacks that you can get in packs, and this box fits 3 of them perfectly because that's how I measured it. So slip them down. And that's them in your box. You could fold your box up like that if you wanted to, but I'm going to make it a little cracker and we're going to decorate it. So we do Bermuda Bay ribbon, which I was thinking of doing. So we have this lovely stitch satin Bermuda Bay that you could use. or you can use our white organza ribbon, and you could just use the white, or you could colour it like I have. I've coloured this with the blends, and that will work too. Where's my seam? On the bottom. So what I think works better with a cracker is a square knot. So I'm just going to knot this. Rather than bows. I've done bows before and I just thought, not great. A bit too fussy. And I was thinking of a masculine recipient, but because I sort of associate green and blacks with men, only because it's my partner likes them. So done that a bit too long. And then I'll show you how I colour this so that you can see. So I use, this is the sort of packaging, you know, when you take your, when you buy a stamp set and you peel off the, if it's clear mount, the stamps, or if it's you take the labels off. That's what it is, when you take the labels off and you're left with one of these. So I find them really useful. So I just stroke it down. I'm using the light one because I thought that was a little bit better than the dark one, but you can do whichever one you want. If you don't have the blends, although this is a fantastic plus with the blends, then you can use a re-inker, an ink pad, or even our Stampin' Right markers, but they take longer to dry. So that doesn't take very long to dry. I'm going to leave that to one side whilst I do my stamping. So I've got a scrap of Whisper White, and I'm going to do the thank you, because this was going to be a customer thank you for people that shopped with me in February. So we're in March now, aren't we? Although I'm not sure how many of these I can make, so if you did shop with me and you get someone else, you'll know that my hands ended up hurting too much. So I apologise for that. I will make something that doesn't involve the envelope punch board. If it gets a bit too much. And then I'm going to take the, I think I'm going to do, can't even pick these off. I'm going to do that one, and then I'm going to do the bigger one to map behind in that. So I'm going to run those through the big shop and come back to you. So I've cut them out, and then when I mounted it, well, not mounted it, but I kind of put it together, so you get a really nice little mat out of that. And when I put it on top, I thought, oh, it kind of gets lost really, it's not really big enough. So I had a look at the dies, and we have these bigger sort of labels as well. So I cut them out, so I got a big one in Bermuda Bay and then one in white, and I layered that up, and I felt that that was better, but I didn't like the two lots of white. So in the stamp set we have these solid dies stamps. So I stamped it once and thought, well, that's too dark. That's just like the same as Bermuda Bay, isn't it? It's the same as the cardstock, so that's too dark. So then I did it, stamped it again next to it, and so it's slightly lighter. And when you cut it out, you get a slight border, and hey presto, I thought, yeah, that's perfect, that, isn't it? Shorted. So that's what I've done. I quite like that. So we'll stick that together. I'm going to use a bit of Tombow because I want a bit of wigglage there on the sticking them together, so that we get it in the right place, because it is only a thin mat around, and I fear that if I used fast fuse, it wouldn't be where I wanted it. There we go. Right, and I'll do the same. I'll stick these two together before I stick it on. Bit more of a mat round this one. Okay. And then I'll centre that in here. So that's a nice layered up topper like that, and it fits, gives it a bit of dimension, so it's nicer on there. So I'm going to use some dimensionals. I've just got some end bits here that I'm using up, so that will go nicely on here. I did check, didn't I? Yep, that way. Stick that in the middle. And now my ribbon should hopefully be dry now. And with this being the organza ribbon, so it's got a solid bit on the outside and not on the inside, I thought having that sort of layering effect would be cool. So there you have it, and quite nice with a little bit of pink peeping through there. So nice little thank you gift there, used for any occasion. Love this slight sparkle in the paper. Yeah, really like it. So there is a link in the down bar there, takes you straight to the blog post where all the dimensions for this. That little middle section there for where the box is, so where you could use it, is 2 1/4 that way by 1 1/4 wide and tall, so you can fit you know, quite decent size worth of goodies in there. Okay, see you all again soon.